Hello and welcome to another episode of Seagram's 100 Pipers Music CDs presents True Legends. Each week we bring you a legend or an icon who has charted a different story. And today we chart the story of a company which is an icon by itself. In fact, it was born out of the freedom movement in the pre-independence time, which led to the birth of a cooperative movement which today occupies one of the largest brands under the Make in India campaign, if you will. If you haven't guessed it by now, it is none other than AMUL India. And joining us today to discuss a little bit about AMUL's journey and his own journey is RS Sodhi, the Managing Director of AMUL. Thank you so much, Mr. Sodhi, for joining us. As I said, the first thing that strikes me is the energy with which you try and communicate the story of AMUL. When you took over at the helm, and indeed from such iconic mentors as Dr. Verghese Kurian, who's really shaped the company, were you very nervous, or were you very clear about really the story that had to be charted next under your leadership?
I think there was no chance of nervousness after working with Dr. Verghese Kurian for 33 years, and that too in a small town where we get a lot of natural air. So we get a lot of energy. And that energy comes when you're working for the very, very underprivileged section. I mean, when you talk to them, our owners are 35 lakh farmers of Gujarat. And throughout my life when I worked with Dr. Kurian, every time he used to remind us that there are a lot of people working for people who are staying at Pedder Road.
Right.
But there are very few people who will work, or especially the management graduates, people who are really need you. So that type of motivation, when you get, energy automatically comes.
Absolutely. But the market, when you took over, and today when you look at the market today, is very different from, say, the days of when Dr. Kurian really spearheaded the movement. And also the market I'm talking about, not just from the end consumer perspective whom you're servicing, but also the farmers have changed. Their aspirations have changed. How is AMUL able to meet them today?
You see, basically aspiration have changed, but basic product is more or less same. Milk. Cows are there, buffaloes are there. No doubt productivity has improved. And so the technology for testing, transportation, processing or marketing. But if you see in your on your plate, what food you eat, 30 years back, 40 years back, 50 years back, same dal, roti, sabji, dahi, buttermilk, etc. Very real. Once in a week you may go for Chinese or Mexican, that's okay. But
true.
Food habits very, very slowly change. It takes centuries. So, but with the prosperity coming more in India, income level increasing, people are consuming more and more milk and milk products. So that's good for our farmers.
Absolutely. You know, Mr. Sodhi, this show is about CSR, corporate social responsibility. But when I, dug deeper into the story of AMUL, I said, where do I start? Because the company is actually in a way born out of CSR. But at the same time, I want to ask you that you have the business dynamics to keep in mind. So how do you balance the two?
As a cooperative, that too of 3.5 million, my business objective, what my board has given, and you know who are on my board? 100% farmer, no government representative, no any private entrepreneur, farmers. Right. And these farmers are also the milk producers. So what business objective they have given to me, that I have to buy all the raw material from my suppliers at as high price as possible. And the owners are our suppliers. So whatever they produce, we have to buy at as high price possible.
So it's the other way around, your challenge.
And I have to sell the finished product at as reasonable price as possible, so that I can buy all the raw material and process it. So by keeping minimum in between, my performance is measured how much lowest margin I have kept to take care of all the expenses.
And at the same time, when you talk about these farmers, what's been one of the biggest achievements is how you have empowered women, and having women stakeholders and women farmers who've really come across and empowered themselves. That was also something that Dr. Kurian believed in it passionately. But take us through how really you have really been able to attract and maintain and allow women to come on board and really help AMUL grow.
You see, let me tell you, out of 3.5 million, around 30% members are registered are women. And out of that 17,000 village cooperative society, 2,600 societies are 100% managed by the women. Chairmen are women, all board members are members. The women is taking the milk, testing it, computerizing it, and artificial insemination, everything, 100% these societies are managed by the women.
In fact, let's just show our viewers a little bit of what are the kind of efforts that AMUL has made and how it's empowering those women. Let's just take a look at some of those stories that are coming out of the AMUL cooperative movement.
If the calf becomes a cow in 2 years, we can get a benefit of 50,000 rupees. Dairy farming is better than farming as there are many advantages. In 4 years, we will have 10 more cattle and gain further. We get a whole lot of information and encouragement from the meetings and have the desire to increase our business. The meetings happen daily in the morning and evening for 2 hours each, as opposed to farming, which takes up the whole day. We prefer this to jobs as well, as no job pays in 10 days, but Sabar Dairy does. We get 3 salaries in 1 month and no job offers such a benefit.
Right, so a lot of women getting, benefited from the AMUL movement. And what's interesting is you have this education program as far as women is concerned. But many of these partners of yours have been with you for a while. So how do you keep the education and the training that you're imparting relevant, especially in today's times?
The first thing is that, let me tell you, the education of the members is very important cooperative society. Under CSR Corporate Act, only 2% is spent for CSR activity now. But under Cooperative Society Act, last 60 years, we are spending 2% on members' education for last 60 years.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, in that, because dairy is in main hand of the women only, so there are a lot of programs which we are running for the education of women.
And as we talk about empowering women, interestingly, your campaign, the AMUL campaign, the first thing one thinks of is the AMUL girl and her comments on everyday society. Was that also a very conscious idea that, you're empowering women at one hand and the face of the brand will also be this AMUL girl?
No, it's more by default than design. AMUL Butter Girl was created 50 years back when Dr. Kuren launched AMUL Butter, and that time in India mostly butter were imported or English brand name. So he wanted to make people aware that here we have got a very good Indian brand. So that time he approached Mr. Sylvester Dacuna that please give us some campaign or creative where we can inform our consumer about
and that continues till today.
Yeah, 50 years. You see, utterly butterly delicious, that campaign is continuing and it is as refreshed as it was first day. And our celebrity AMUL girl, always young, always full of making fun on everybody.
Right.
And we have never gone for any celebrity endorsement.
Well, that's just one of the many ways that AMUL, its philosophy and the way it functions goes really against the grain of how many companies do business. Let's find out a little bit more about that. We are in conversation with RS Sodhi, Managing Director of AMUL India, and we'll ask him a little bit more about really how AMUL is going against the grain, whether it comes in terms of its branding, but also in terms of how it tries to reach out and help all those farmers which are there as part of its cooperative movement. You're watching Seagram's 100 Pipers Music CDs presents True Legends. More after the short break. Welcome to Seagram's 100 Pipers Music CDs presents True Legends. On the show today, we've been in conversation with RS Sodhi, the Managing Director of AMUL, and we've been discussing the several interesting paths followed by the company, whether it's in terms of CSR or also in terms of its brand image. But at the core, Mr. Sodhi, AMUL is really about caring for the farmers who are part of its cooperative movement, and some of that really came out when in the face of disasters, for instance, when the Kutch earthquake took place. You really tried to go out and really help all those who were impacted. Now, you know, we see a lot of tree plantation drives happening by companies, and these are usually in piecemeal efforts. How do you integrate such campaigns, for instance, within the larger AMUL message or theme?
You see, nowadays people talk a lot about climate change and environment, etc. So we thought, we also do some initiative. So we came out with this campaign of greening Gujarat. And how we do it? Every 15th of August, the Independence Day, we go for this campaign of tree plantation, wherein we involve all our 3.5 million farmers. So we tell all of our farmers, you first take an oath and plant 3 to 5 trees, either at your house or in the farm or some common place. And also you have to see, you have to water these trees, you have to take care of these trees, so that mortality rate is very low. So last year, all these farmers put together planted 80 lakhs trees, 8 million trees. And last 7 years we have been doing it. And till now, we have planted around 5.5 crore, 55 million trees in Gujarat. And out of that, 47% trees have survived, which is very high score. And all this tree plantation drive is done without spending a single penny. Because all this sapling has been taken from the forest department, all labor has been done by the milk producers for only, so there's nothing, only we have organized it. And such a big scale tree plantation never been done anywhere in the world.
In fact, let's take our viewers through a little bit of some of those initiatives which are taken by AMUL. Here's a ground reality check.
AMUL Federation tarafthi
this project by AMUL Federation has been given to us, and we have sown the seeds.
Project એ આપવામાં આવ્યો છે અને એ અમે વાવ્યો છે.
This is good for the environment, and we get a good yield as well.
પર્યાવરણને પણ ઘણો જ ઉપયોગી છે. આનાથી પર્યાવરણ પણ જળવાઈ રહે છે.
In the gaps between the trees, we grow grass for animals. This benefits the quality of milk as well. This project by AMUL Federation benefits the country in a very big way.
અને પર્યાવરણથી આખું વાતાવરણ સ્વચ્છ બની ઉઠે છે.
So these kind of initiatives and campaigns that you have undertaken, again, how do you sort of ensure that the farmers are convinced by it, or are really you inspire them to go ahead and be part of these movements?
So basically, we have got a program called Trainers, Trainee and then Internal Consultant, where we have got some trainees who go to the villages and tell them what is good for them, whatever the new things are there. So in this, we tell them what are the benefits of having more trees, and farmers know them.
Right.
Only thing, somebody has to motivate them, and somebody has to coordinate, arranging all this thing.
Right.
So they themselves take the responsibility of greening their village, greening their house, or greening their farm.
Right. So as I said, so many interesting new campaigns, and really to try and motivate and ensure all these farmers who are also your shareholders stay motivated to really give you that kind of output that you need for your business. But tell me, how, in terms of AMUL, as it tries to approach newer markets, at the back end you're doing all these efforts, what are AMUL's targets in terms of really expanding your domestic market reach to really ensure whether it's the milk or the milk product reaches every corner of the country?
See, let me tell you first about the total India's milk market. Total market is of size of around 4 lakh crores per annum. But out of that, 50% is in the villages only, self-consumption or within the village.
Right.
So balance is only 2 lakh crore. Out of that 2 lakh crore, organized or branded milk products market is only 80,000 crore. So which is around 40%. whatever is. So lot of gap is there exists between the organized and unorganized. So to achieve that, we at AMUL, we are following a strategy of 3E. What are these 3 E's? Expansion in procurement, expansion in processing facilities, and expansion in distribution and marketing.
Okay, so at the back end, at the procurement side, clearly AMUL is king.
Yeah.
Huh? But what about at the front end, where you're actually servicing the consumer? Because I am a little spoiled for choice, at least on the face of it, when I look at the brands which are available. And as I said, there has to be a viable business model. So how are you enabling that or furthering that connect with the consumer in a market which appears to be getting more and more crowded?
See, AMUL marketing strategy is very, very simple. That you give best quality product made out of by using the latest technology and by using very natural products and sell it to the consumer at value for money. And once you sell these products, consumer is going to come again. AMUL has never tried to replace natural or expensive ingredients with the cheap or synthetic ingredients. You take ice creams.
Right. So quality with value for money.
Quality, and we never like to compromise. You see here, let me add here, Dr. Kurin always used to tell us, please think, whenever you decide any marketing strategy or campaign, consumer is smarter than you. Don't think that you will reduce the pack of ghee from 1000 or 1 liter to 900 ml, consumer will come to know. Or you replace your expensive dairy fat by vegetable fat, consumer will not come to know. Never. We have never compromised that. And consumer has got blind faith in AMUL brand name. And blind faith is like a religion. Then you never question.
Okay, on that note, those are some basic lessons in marketing which has enabled AMUL to maintain its dominant market position while giving back to the farmers, to the cooperatives. But we haven't finished with the story yet. More questions for RS Sodhi. You're watching Seagram's 100 Pipers Music CDs presents True Legends. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Seagram's 100 Pipers Music CDs presents True Legends, and today we are tracking the icon which is AMUL, the brand which was created before India gained its independence and continues to have a dominant market share and position in the milk and milk products segment. RS Sodhi is with us. Mr. Sodhi, we're explaining your brand strategy, your marketing strategy, keeping it simple, following the ethos of Dr. Kurian. As you sort of step out and head beyond domestic shores, as you target international markets and you're present in over 50 countries, do some of those rules or guidelines change? The markets at the end of the day will be very different there.
Let me tell you, India is not only world's largest producer of milk or milk products, but also largest consumer. So our main focus is India.
Right.
We are exporting to more than 55 countries, and last year our export turnover was 540 crore. But focus is India. What we are exporting basically branded products for Indians who are residing out, those who want to eat.
Who are missing their AMUL ghee.
AMUL butter flavor and vegetarian AMUL cheese, because cheese outside are non-vegetarian.
Right.
And sometimes we export commodity export when we have got surplus milk for that time.
So let's also refocus back on India, because empowering the local community, that's been, you know, the way also that you've grown. But, you know, that's been a huge success story in Gujarat. But as you said, as you head out towards more markets in India, how difficult or different is it going to be for you to enable that empowerment of local communities and reaching out to them in different other states as well?
See, what we have done is, where we have gone outside Gujarat, we are 100% following AMUL model. That is buying milk directly from farmers by forming their cooperative society or association.
Right.
And day one giving them benefit of AMUL brand. You see, any member who joins AMUL today, he gets the same price what a farmer who has joined AMUL 60 years or 68 years back. So AMUL brand benefit is going to everybody. And today, our turnover this year is around 21,000 crore.
Right.
Out of 21,000 crore, around more than 17,000 crore rupees have gone back to the villages. Economy has improved in the villages, and that much extra money which has gone to the village, it has increased consumption of other FMCG
so that
durables.
story itself is a huge
Yeah.
attraction. In fact, let's see how it is really empowering some of these local communities, the power of brand AMUL, which enables it to really bring back all of those people into its fold.
After Mother Dairy started its operations, my family is now more secure financially. The nearby villages are also getting their daily bread. Because of the employment provided by Mother Dairy, we are leading our lives very well.
Mother Dairy AMUL.
I have been working with Mother Dairy AMUL since the last 10 years now. We are growing and we are getting our daily bread because of the work here. My family is very happy and we are working with Mother Dairy with all our loyalty.
Right. So now, Mr. Sodhi, we saw some of those stories, and essentially one might say that it's basically a continuation of the path laid out by Dr. Kurian. But as each MD, as each CEO takes over, you have your own personal vision or personal ethos. What is it that you would like to think or would like to look back upon in terms of what you have brought to the table?
You see, let me tell you, core business strategy will never change. But it is on a solid foundation and based on the core values. And it's working well. We are growing well. After 68 years of this business, we are still growing at a CAGR of 23%. You tell me which company after age of 68 grows at this rate? So why to change? What we are doing is we are adopting new technologies, new ways, new areas that will continue to do. Like after going to all over other parts of India, I mean, our vision is that today if we are turnover is 21,000 crore, and by 2020 it will be around 50,000 crore, and in 10 years we want to achieve 1 lakh crore, and which is achievable because we are growing at 23%, thanks to our billions of consumers who are eating and drinking a lot of milk and milk products.
Absolutely. But tell me, what keeps you awake at night, if at all?
I think only thing which is always matter of worry is how to pay good price to the farmers. And second is how to take extra milk, whatever is coming, how to sell it at a good price.
In terms of your own path, you, as you said, you spent 33 years with AMUL and you've been under the mentorship of Dr. Kurian. As you look towards the future of the company, how do you really see it shaping up? Do you always see succession coming in internally, because the culture and the values that AMUL stands for, it's very important that it's always through internal succession?
Let me tell you, culture of any organization is like a religion. And it is slowly, gradually develops in any organization. We are very fortunate that in our organization, most of my people, my team people are on their first job. Directly out of college they are joined. I am working with 33 years, fellow below me is working for 28 years, 30 years, so every 20, 30 years. So what happens, this consistency happens.
So how do you avoid some of the clashes and the controversies which have happened in the past within managements, whether, you know, it's especially when it comes to leadership issues, for instance?
I think that will not be the problem, because we have a lot of good leaders or managers present in our organization who can take for next 20, 30, 40 years. So this organization is continued on the core values that Dr. Kurian has given. This organization, AMUL, will continue the same growth path for next 40, 50 years.
On that note, thank you so much, RS Sodhi, and all the very best in your efforts to ensure that AMUL occupies a larger share of our breakfast table and our lunch and dinner table. Well, that brings us to the end of this story of AMUL, the brand, the management, which is taking it forward. We'll be back again next week. Thanks again for joining us on Seagram's 100 Pipers Music CDs presents True Legends only on ET Now.